good morning. It's a wonderful Tuesday morning, and it's a delight to be here on your screen and making sure that we bring you news, making news around the world. So, I am Modot Dominic, and with me is.
Good morning, Nigerians. My name is Ola Oladipo.
All right, so we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take the quote for the day and also take a look at the news making headlines around the globe. So, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back from that quick break. So first we'll take a look at the quote for the day. So our quote for the day will be taken from the book of Romans. Okay, so let's see what Romans has to say to us. It says that God is love, and to fulfill all of God's promises, you have to abide by His love. Okay, God is love, and to fulfill all of God's promises, we have to abide by His love. So, and that's the quote that we have for you for today, taken from the book of Romans. So, quickly, let's take a look at the news that we have making headlines today. So, first, we're starting with the Punch newspaper as usual. Now, we're trying not to make it in a particular order this time. So, we're saying that first, the headlines that we have is from the Punch newspaper. So, let's start with the Punch. The first story that we have says, retire now, presidency tells Atiku. Ex-VP rubbishes Supreme Court judgment. The presidency and all the Progressive Congress on Monday knocked the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar following his allegation that the Supreme Court rewarded illegalities by upholding the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the February 25th presidential poll. Atiku, who addressed a press conference in Abuja on Monday, formally reacted to last week's judgment of the Apex Court, which dismissed his lawsuit to challenge Tinubu's electoral victory. But in its reaction to Atiku's on the presidential and the Apex Court, the presidency took a sharp jab at the former vice president, saying he went into February poll with a fragmented and tattered umbrella. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, stated this in a statement titled "Time for Atiku Abubakar to finally go away and end his ambition to be president." Ononuga also added there was no way Atiku and the PDP could have won the election with the party platform under which he contested broken into four party. Okay, the Supreme Court also on Thursday ended the 171-day legal tussle to nullify the election of Tinubu, which was also rejected of the election appeal filed by the PDP standard bearer and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. The Supreme Court also, which is in the lead judgment delivered by the chairman of the 7-man panel, Justice Inyang Okoro, the Apex Court also refused to consider the academic record of the president obtained from the Chicago State University, which Atiku sought to tender as fresh evidence to prove his allegation certificate forgery against the ex-Lagos State governor, which is also what we have there. So going by what we already have now, it shows that Atiku has a lot to also put together as far as this is concerned. If the Supreme Court has laid a final judgment and then he's still trying to, pull together, trying to wake up what is not, I just think this man should just let this thing rest. Because going by what is happening, his party is already left in division. His party is already being divided. PDP, I heard that, a lot of people are also, decamping into another party, and this is actually not good for PDP at all. So, Engineer Ola.
Well, Mudot, what I have to say is that initially it was agreed by both parties that is the APC and PDP, that they have to zone the presidency to the south. And, being that President Buhari from the north has ruled for 8 years, so it is natural that, okay, you zone the presidency to the south so that they can also have a taste of the presidency. But surprisingly enough, Atiku came from nowhere and emerged as the presidential candidate of PDP. That alone is a setback for the party. That made Obi to leave the party and join Labour Party. And when you are leaving the party, for them now to decide whomsoever they select to be their president, we will support, we give the person 100% support. But when they got to a PDP rally or campaign, then it was a surprise that one of the contenders stepped down and gave the ticket to Atiku. This is the main reason why Obi decamped. So you don't expect such a man who has come to divide PDP to now say that, I should have won the election, I contest the judgment of the Supreme Court. When you are the architect of the failure of PDP to secure the presidency. So I don't think it has anything to do, because of his move, there was a very big lacuna in the party. The party was divided, and many went to APC, many went to Labour Party, and many went to other parties.
It's been divided.
The party has been divided. So, according to late Ezekiel said, a broken bottle has no mechanism. So what do you expect? I would not said a broken bottle has no attention. You go to Watifon, to Latunshimo. He broke the party into pieces. So he doesn't have anything to say. And the party also should not realize that, okay, if you stand on a policy, we are zoning the presidency to the south, let it be to the south. We are going back to the north, let it be to the north. You don't have to go forward and backward. It's like a man of no consequence, no past, no present,
man who is
and
not sure of what
yes,
he wants.
and no future. Happy-go-lucky fellow. He will take life as it comes. So, it is true now. And on the issue of certificate forgery, if you study in abroad, there must be attestation to attest that what is the equivalent of your degree or certificate in Nigerian educational standard. And doing this, you have to go to Nigerian embassy in abroad. If not, in abroad that, okay, I'm going back to Nigeria to work in Nigeria. This is my degree. I want you to give me attestation on this degree, certify my degree. That in Nigerian educational system, what is the equivalent of this BSc from America? Then they will tell you this is what Nigeria requires. Nigeria don't recognize, America here don't recognize certificate, they believe in transcript. But Nigerian, they do recognize certificate. But you have to go to Ministry of Education in Nigeria to do this. Or go to the American Embassy in Nigeria to attest that this, what you have, that you call first degree in America, is also first degree in Nigeria, or below, or above. You can't just take anything directly to the court and believe that court will listen to you. Even one of the lead judges, one of the members of the panel, also the last person also said the same thing, that there's no attestation. You can't just come in and go without following the procedure. Supreme Court is part of the primary court, which is the tribunal, and part of appeal court. They are not taking new evidence. They will not take it from you. You have to go back. They have to discuss these materials, accept the materials, give their own judgment. When you go to appeal will now check it. Oh, your judgment is, there's error in your judgment. then they can overturn the judgment before you go to Supreme Court.
Basically following by what has been tendered.
No, so which means I don't know if the lawyer advised him and he refused to listen to them. Because the lawyers, they know. They will give you first statement is the truth. But when you want to when you start dilly-dallying, they will
and
say,
you
okay,
feel that you have money to spend.
okay, and this guy does not want to listen to the right statement, they give it to you. And besides, Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the whole continent in the whole world. Now then, another thing is that we have to avoid what will lead to disaster in Nigeria. We have seen it before during Western riot. Wait there. I know what happened in Nigeria. Many people died, and this event also led to the civil war. So Nigeria cannot afford any other civil war. Anything that will lead to civil war, we have to tread gently.
Carefully.
When Nigerians were advised that do not go to Niger, if you go to Niger, it's going to be an explosion. We have not gone to Niger. We start back because we have enough problem. So I think we should not add to Nigerian problem. You should just go back, listen to the advice, and retire from politics. Of course, he's old enough. He's a grandfather, so he should sit down and retire from politics and allow the young breed to do it. We have got enough problem in Nigeria that this thing is, and it's not coming from this present administration or from Buhari administration, but from far away administration.
This takes us back to what we were saying yesterday. If we have people like this who are hell-bent on wanting to take leadership, then where is the role, where is the space for the youth to also take over? So he really has to trade carefully and then retire. It is time for you to go and rest. Daddy Atiku, please go and rest and let the youth have space to also do what they need to do and do it rightly. So looking further to the next story that we have still on the Punch newspaper, and this says Power Tinubu canvasses 2 trillion disco recapitalization traffic review 31st October 2023. Now, this recapitalization also started when President Bola Tinubu on Monday said Nigeria's power sector privatization had failed to meet its objective, as the national grid was serving only about 15% of the country's electricity demand, despite being privatized 10 years ago. Tinubu, who spoke during the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry Market Participant and Stakeholders Roundtable that focused on privatization, also called for the recapitalization of power distribution companies. He said primarily analysis showed that the DISCO were currently undercapitalized to close to 2 trillion naira, adding that the Nigerian's power traffic should be also rebased, represented by the Special Advisor, Energy and Infrastructure, Office of the Vice President, Sadiq Mwaka. The president said, 10 years on, I believe it is fair to say that the objectives of sector privatization have, by and large, not been met. Over 90 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. Okay, so if over 90 million Nigerians lack access to electricity for over 10 years, it means that there's a lot to be done. And I'm so happy that our president is stepping into this and making sure that, because the essence of having to privatize this is so that people can have access to these things with ease. Because I know when you have to do with things going by government, they will tell you come back this, or the server is actually not working well, and then there's always one excuse. So if something is being privatized, it means that they are giving it to capable hands who can deal with these things. So, and over 10 years we're still having issues of people not being able to have access to electricity. What's your take on this, engineer?
Look, you see, this is the main reason why some people want to, at all costs, get the power and get hold of the power in this country and be ruling, because many things are bad. We all know many things are wrong. And I tell people, you don't have to say that it is the government that is bad. indirectly you see the people that are in government. These people that are in government are the bad people. When you say you want to privatize, it's for the progress of the nation. That okay, when you privatize it, you are saying the government cannot run it effectively. Let us give it to private hands. People are coming in with their monies as shareholders. And then this process, there's no equity. And where there's no equity, they can't be gain at all. They can't profit at all. If you have done this 15 years ago, I mean, about 10 years ago, and you can only supply Nigerians, 15% Nigerians, adequate light, is a failure.
For over 10 years.
For over 10 years. And then you go through the back door again and bring in generators to sell to people. You know, it's like you are now asking me, bring your face, I want to slap it. You are slapping me without being mindful of my own feelings. Because you are ruling Nigeria, you believe you can do whatever you like. It's a very good thing in the right direction that, okay, let us overhaul this so-called privatization. This is what it's saying in essence. Let us overhaul it. It's full of ambiguities. And all these ambiguities must be corrected. If you are asking people to bring their money into Nigerian NEPA project, when they bring in their money, they must receive adequate profit, benefit from their money. Not that they bring in their money
and then you're not enjoying the benefits.
There's no blood, there's no water.
You're
Yes.
just spending and then you're not seeing anything.
You are not seeing anything. There's no profit at all. Most Nigerian very profitable companies were sold. And after 10 years, nothing to touch for it. If you go to ordinary Ghana, if they want to take light in Ghana, they will announce that we are taking light. But Nigerian Disco, every time you go there, they will tell you we have some problem at so and so areas. What is causing the problem? Because they do not have enough materials to generate and distribute electricity. Then what happens to the funding? Nobody can say anything. So it's a very good thing for anybody to approach Nigerian power sector this way, and believe that very soon something credible will come out of this. Otherwise, the nation, we cannot survive. Look at the state of the economy today. It's because Nigeria is not productive. And what can you produce when there is no power?
Because power virtually answers to everything.
Whatever business you are running, even if you are running a shop, maybe a supermarket, you need power for all the freezers.
To preserve something.
Yes, and without power, you have to rely on generator. And the generator again now, because of mismanagement, the cost of petrol is on the high side. Now we are leaning to gas, and gas now, the cost of gas now is on the high side. So what do we do? So I think it is a good move.
The president is
also making now.
All right, so let's look at the last story that we have from the Punch newspaper. And this says Rivers Assembly in crisis as Mike's loyalists move to impeach Fubara. Moves by 24 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach Governors Siminalayi Fubara resulted in turbulence in the state on Monday, as the governor's loyalists stormed the assembly complex to protest against the plot. This came after the bombing of the State House of Assembly located along Moscow Road in Port Harcourt by suspected arsonists on Sunday. A section of the chamber was damaged and some properties were also destroyed. Sunday's explosion at the assembly, it was gathered, was also to prevent the lawmakers from carrying out their planned impeachment, but the men of the fire service successfully put out the fire. The lawmakers, who were believed to be loyal to the immediate past Rivers State Governor and Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has also signed an impeachment notice against the embattled governor early on Monday morning. Okay, so that's the news. That's the last story that we have from the Punch newspaper. No, this is more like a godfather and a godson and a godson palaver, and having to see that this now results to a point where he's being impeached, and then there's a back and forth. The clip I saw yesterday was really not making any sense at all. Having to see that water and fire was being poured out on. I'm like, what exactly is going on? Is this a competition or something? How did we get to a point where we cannot resolve things amicably, and then one is trying to claim power over one another? So, Engineer Ola, shed more light.
When you judge people, that is what will be the consequential effect. When you judge that this man is bad, you are passing judgment on him, you are condemning him. It's too early for what is happening now. Just barely few months after the election, and look at what we are seeing. The house is divided.